moving on to the public comment on agendized items. Just a friendly reminder, we have some norms for respectful behavior. We have quite a few people in this room, and we have over 16 public comments at 3 minutes apiece, so it's going to be an hour, so just be ready. I remind you to use respectful language. We do have students in here. Be respectful of all speakers. The board would like to hear each speaker and their 3 minutes, so we try not to make any noise or jeering or cheering because we want to hear what they have to say. Do not cause disruptions and try to adhere to the time limit. You'll see the timer up there. I'm going to call 3 people at a time, just so you know who's coming next, just for the sake of time. And then we'll start with the first 3 are CJ, Joseph, and Emily Gonzalez, and they're all speaking on item 6A.
Hello everyone, my name is CJ Malabulu. I am the Community School Coordinator here at Cesar Chavez Middle School. Oceanside Community Schools are proud members of our DEI department. I'd like to use my time to share a little about our community schools work as a part of DEI. One model of our work looks something like this. We find that students experience obstacles to learning. The school community identifies the needs and collaborates to find solutions. Service and resource connections are made, resulting in student benefits. One example of these benefits is access, by way of our Vision to Learn partnership, which provides free glasses to students. 3 years ago, we provided 117 glasses to students at this school alone. We are happy to welcome this partner back on campus this year, and our families are too. An email I received just last week reads, Mr. Malabulu, thank you. This would be great for my daughter. She's expressing difficulty seeing the board. We work with PE to make this happen. And our PE teachers had commented on students' hesitation to fully participate in some sports, and that it would make a lot of sense if they ended up needing glasses. So I'd like to show and tell a little bit. I have a mug here with me, and this is my favorite mug, given to me by a mother whose family faces many challenges. Challenges that have impacted her son's attendance. And our department does a lot of work around attendance outreach and also resource connections. Alongside our wonderful attendance clerk, together we would visit this family routinely over many, many months. Long story short, the students started coming back to school. I'll never forget the mom's appreciation when she said, "Thank you for not giving up on my son." If our work enables students to see the whiteboard, play catch with their friends, and reconnect with opportunities of education, that sounds like money well spent, and absolutely worth the time and efforts invested. Thank you.
Joseph, Brown.
Hello and good afternoon to the district board members for the Oceanside Unified School District and members of the public. My name is Joseph Little. I'm 17 years old and a senior currently attending El Camino High School and a lifelong Oceanside resident. You may think I'm just the average senior in high school, but I'm more than just that. I've co-led an effort to reestablish the Youth Commission here in Oceanside. I have met with local politicians to discuss issues that affect us, including Deputy Mayor Eric Joyce and Congressman Mike Levin, among many other projects and initiatives. It is utterly shameful that even one person came here to speak in opposition to DEI. Oceanside is one of the most diverse cities here in North County, given we are a majority minority city. Although you may believe DEI only helps out minorities, that is far from the truth. Multiple studies have shown that the biggest beneficiaries of DEI are white women. However, this trope of unqualified people of color gaining more opportunities than a qualified white male is false. Oceanside's minority population has some of the highest rates of poverty this city has seen. DEI has helped to recognize those in our disadvantaged communities get opportunities they may have never received. It is also important to note that veterans also benefit from DEI as well. It is utterly disgraceful that people in this room came to a board meeting in a military town where the majority of military families have their children attend our schools to talk down DEI, which they benefit from. From our minority to military populations, DEI has been there to support them in OUSD, and I applaud the district's wholehearted support of its DEI programs. DEI programs have helped to create a more inclusive learning environment by addressing disparities, supporting unrepresented students, and fostering a culture of belonging for all in OUSD. As a final message to those who are speaking out against the district's support of DEI, don't say that you hate DEI. Let your bigotry and hate be on full display and say with your chest that you hate diversity, equity, and inclusion. Thank you.
Hi, thank you. My name is Emily Gonzalez. I feel really grateful to be following CJ. Is that CJ? That's it. Sorry. Because I'm one of those military families. I'm a parent of a middle schooler in the district, and I'm here with a simple message of thanks and to affirm the commitment of DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion in Oceanside Unified School District. My husband recently retired after 27 years as a U.S. Marine. Through multiple deployments, our daughter has always been treated with care and deep understanding of her unique needs as a military kid. The district and school administration, all of her teachers, the counseling staff have always proven themselves to be exceptional in their focus on her well-being, while also supporting her love of learning and academic success. Diversity, equity, and inclusion are being misrepresented across the country and right here in our own district by some folks who, I worry, don't truly understand what the words mean and what the commitment entails. Every student in this district deserves the thoughtful care that our child has received. Our foster youth, our special ed students, our students with disabilities, our English language learners, every student from our beautifully diverse community deserves to feel like they're cared for and that they belong here. Diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts are additive and provide the foundations upon which we can prepare our students for the interconnected global community they stand to inherit. The commitment to DEI, such as exists here at OUSD, should be a model for other districts. May be different from our own, only serve to create a stronger, more resilient community for all of us. Communities are stronger when we create strong networks of care for each other. A sustained commitment to DEI and OUSD helps us achieve that while in no way sacrificing rigor. We're seeing more than enough ill-informed vilification of DEI work in school districts across the country. Board members, Dr. Vitale, Dr. Sparks, our family wanted you to know your work is appreciated and we thank you for it.
Our next two speakers are Benika Kressler, Rachel Parentis, sorry you guys, and Michael Richardson.
Hello everyone, I'm Benika Kressler. I'm a parent here in Oceanside School District. My son attends Pablo Talk Elementary. And I'm here to speak just on behalf of our family, new to Oceanside, and being disheartened to hear that this is up for debate about getting rid of DEI here. I enrolled my child into the school district because of its diversity, and the notion of getting rid of it is heartbreaking to say the least, and very reactive. It's reactionary. I believe that we see that the president's motives and the way that he has been making decisions is irrational, and that if we follow along in those footsteps, then we will be on the wrong side of history here. So I think it's very important that we understand as educators that that this is something that is divisive, and that, as everyone has said, that it is really pitting people against each other. And it's going to be unfortunate if I'm going to have to move my son somewhere else because he can't stand on the right side of history. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next speaker is Rachel.
members, my name is Rachel and I'm a proud special education teacher at Nichols Leadership Academy. My purpose in speaking here is to offer support for our DEI department. However, we have more work to do and it requires all of us. Special education is giving each child the tools that they need to be successful regardless of ability. Special educators work to create equity and allow all individuals to be included and belong in any and every space. In essence, DEI and special education are the same. You can't have one without the other. If you remove people with disabilities from a campus, you are removing a key piece of diversity. If you remove DEI from our schools and communities, you are extinguishing the rights of people with disabilities. The core principles of DEI acknowledge that every student receives academic, social, and emotional support that is necessary to thrive, and that we acknowledge that diversity strengthens our learning communities. I have seen the benefits of valuing these core principles of DEI. Through inclusion and our staff at Nichols being grounded in the belief that every student is a general education student first, and that they should be engaged in that general education environment, student outcomes have begun to improve both academically and socially. One example that I have among many is that a student in my class who went from spending most of his day in a self-contained classroom and not saying much of a word to anyone to giving presentations in the general ed class, making his first friend and excitedly sharing that with everyone, to being able to go to 5th grade camp independently. Widening his school community through core instruction in general education and giving him access to support from peers over adults allowed him to reach his full potential and have a sense of belonging. Research suggests that only 50% of middle schoolers and high schoolers with a significant disability have a close friend. Friends are powerful. They build confidence, they lower depression, and they help us reach our goals. That same research also suggests that if students do not make a friend by high school, they are unlikely to do so for the rest of their lives. This means that if we're not intentional about creating spaces of inclusion and belonging through DEI, over half of our students will leave our schools without a friend. We don't want this to be true. We can't stop our DEI initiatives. Instead, we need to increase them. It's a call to action. DEI principles are not optional, and time is of the essence. We need to create spaces where every student can feel known, loved, and become who they're meant to be. Thank you.
Well, I can see that I'm outnumbered here. And I just want to start off by saying that I'm not against diversity, equality, and inclusion. I'm in favor of those things. I'm just against making it the number one goal of education. Education is for educating. I asked if they could put the agenda item up on the board. I guess they can. But if you were to look at your agendas, if you look at the detail, if you go down under goals, you will see that there is one there that I greatly admire. It says advance. Their goal is to advance academic achievement, so all students graduate prepared for college and career. If you notice, it's numbered number 1. But somebody didn't like it being at the top. They moved it to the bottom of the list. I know that they can count. So it seems that this was a sort of a Freudian slip, I think. They really wanted to be subordinate and below the importance of those other things. My attitude is that if you do an excellent job of teaching, kids will feel great about themselves and they won't have to have anybody help them feel good. They'll feel good just by being excellent. So my position is that we should close down the DEI department, send Dr. Sparks to a classroom. He's obviously very intelligent. He's very educated. I assume he has a doctorate in education. and that he should be able to educate. And that would be the most productive thing we can do to raise our test scores and actually get back to teaching. We should stop treating the symptom, all these bad feelings, and treat the cause, which is a lack of attention to actually teaching. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Our next speakers are Ruby Castro, Rosanna Martinez, and Steve Sly. Start with Ruby. I have you speaking up at 6:80.
Good evening, school board members, Superintendent Vitale, cabinet members, colleagues, and community members. Thank you for making space for my voice tonight. My name is Ruby Castro, and I'm a proud elementary school counselor at Pablo Top, the best school ever, a strong mother, and a loud system disruptor. I am incredibly proud to be in a school district that not only values diversity, equity, and inclusion, but actively practices it alongside a strong commitment to the community schools approach. This work is not just about education, it's about justice. It's about interrupting a system that has historically been designed to oppress people. It's our goal to turn this into a system that truly serves students, families, and communities. By prioritizing diversity, equity, and inclusion, we are challenging inequities, amplifying marginalized voices, and ensuring that every student, regardless of race, income, or background, has access to the opportunities they deserve. Through the community schools model, we're breaking down barriers, strengthening partnerships, and addressing the whole child's needs, because we know that thriving students come from thriving communities. This work isn't always easy, but it's necessary. And I'm so proud to be a part of a district that is not afraid to do what is right, to dismantle the old systems that harm and create something better. Something just, something truly intentionally transformative. I encourage all of us to continue the fight, even when it gets hard, and even if we're the only ones doing it. We cannot, and we will not stop. Thank you.
Good evening, OUSD Board of Education trustees and OUSD district leaders. I am here tonight to express my unwavering support and the vital work of OUSD Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Department and Community Schools. The DI department plays a critical role in ensuring that all students and families feel valued, seen, and supported in our schools. My journey with OUSD began as a first-generation, non-English speaking kindergarten student at Mission Elementary. I attended Jefferson Middle School and graduated from Oceanside High. As a first-generation Latina, navigating the school system on my own was challenging. I love that my parents trusted me and were confident in me making educational decisions for myself. I was also lucky to have educators that believed in me to pursue higher education. I share this personal experience to highlight a reality that students and families in our community continue to face. This is an experience shared by families who struggle to find a sense of belonging in schools systems that are not designed with them in mind. I want to highlight that in 2021, the OUSD Board of Education made a historic commitment to transforming the most deserving school communities through the community school strategy. Since then, a dedicated team of community school coordinators have worked towards creating the conditions necessary for students and families' success. Our work is grounded in building authentic relationships, engaging in deep listening, and providing critical supports to students as they navigate their educational journeys. As a community school coordinator, we authentically partner with students, families to improve student outcomes. We work collaboratively to remove barriers, foster trust, and ensure families feel welcome and empowered to engage in their child's education. When families are seen as partners, students thrive. When students see themselves reflected in their schools, they succeed. The work we do is not just about providing resources, it is about transforming school communities into places where all students and families feel valued, heard, and supported. I'm honored to serve OUSD as a community school coordinator. It is a privilege to stand alongside students, families, educators working together to elevate voices and ensure the stories are heard. Every day I witness the strength, resilience, and determination of our youth and families as they navigate challenges and strive for a better future. Together we can continue to share one another's stories of empowerment and love. These stories remind us why this work matters and fuel our collective commitment to creating inclusive and supportive environments. By fostering deep connections and building bridges between schools and communities, we create spaces where every student has the opportunity to thrive. Thank you.
Hi, good evening everyone. My name is Stephen Sly, he, him. I'm a teacher at Oceanside High School. I felt compelled to speak this evening, kind of in light of what's going on nationally with our politics. And I just want to say, to echo some of the things that I've already heard, I'm very proud to be an employee in OUSD, in a place that values diversity, equity, and inclusion. It's strange to me to think that people and places don't value those things, because if you think about what the opposites of those are, it doesn't make a lot of sense. Our community is very diverse. San Diego in general and Oceanside is very diverse. It makes sense that our schools and our workplaces represent the community. The school board is diverse. You know, we have people of all creeds, colors, religions, everything. It's really important. So I've been trying to think about what I wanted to say. A lot of it's already been said tonight from my colleagues who I work with in the district, fellow teachers, counselors. But really what this all boils down to for me is I am proud that I work for an institution that is standing up to honestly tyrannical governments trying to, just waylay everything that we've made, all the progress we've made as a society. Essentially to appease white supremacists, and it's really sad that that is the way we are going. So I'm very, very happy that I work for a district that is standing against that, and is standing up for people who are from historically disadvantaged communities. It's important. Together we're stronger, together we're better, together we can do things that we can't do when we're separated. So that's essentially my message. I'm very proud of this district. Keep standing up. I really hope that more people who look like me start to speak out and start using their privilege that they were born into to say the things that need to be said. I know it can be scary. I'm a little scared right now. But we have to speak truth. We have to speak power to truth. We have to do that. I have never had to feel the things that some of my colleagues have felt. And that's my privilege. I need to use that to help make things better for everyone, and that's what this district is trying to do. I fully appreciate the work that our DEI programs, our DEI department does, and I look forward to working and continuing to help support those programs, to support my students, and to support the staff who work in Oceanside Unified, and that's it. Thank you.
Rosie Higuera, and Patty Payne.
Good afternoon, board members. My name is Alejandra Garcia, and I am the School Community Coordinator for Pablo Clark School of the Arts. I'm here today to express my support for the district's Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, DEI department, and to share the positive impact that it has had on our school community. Thanks to the DEI programs, Pablo Tap School of the Arts has become a true community school. These initiatives have brought a vast array of enrichment programs that benefit not only our students, but also our families. Through partnerships with organizations like Feeding San Diego, Mano a Mano, and PIQUE, the Parent Institute for Quality Education, we are able to offer basic needs and workshops that empower our parents and caregivers with the tools they need to better support their children's success. These programs will create opportunities for parents to engage in their children's education in meaningful ways, fostering a stronger connection between home and school. The workshops in particular will provide valuable resources that can help parents navigate challenges, improve communication, and ensure their students' academic growth. By bridging the gap between school and home, the DEI department is helping to create an environment where families feel supported and involved, ultimately contributing to the overall success of our school students. I am proud of the work that we are doing at Pablo Tap School of the Arts, and I look forward to seeing the continued growth and positive impact of the DEI program in our community. In closing, I want to share a quote from late Representative John Lewis, who once said, "Never ever be afraid to make some noise and get in good trouble, necessary trouble." The work of the DEI department is about making that necessary trouble, challenging the status quo, ensuring every voice is heard, and creating spaces where all students and families can thrive. The positive changes we see at our district's beloved community are a direct result of these efforts, and I am proud to stand alongside this board in supporting continued progress. Let's keep making the noise that brings about the positive change our community deserves. Thank you for the work you do. We really appreciate you.
Rosie, I have you speaking on item 5L and P.
Actually, 5P and 5J.
You have P and J, okay.
Yes.
Just want to make sure that we're all on the same page.
Thank you. Yes, so the modular bathrooms for Pablo Talk. So I'm very concerned. I understand that there are sanitary pads and tampons in the boys' bathroom all the way to elementary school. So that is a concern for me. I saw for myself here at Cesar Chavez in the boys' bathroom. I walked in there myself and took pictures, and I was shocked to find that that was the case. So this is setting up a really dangerous environment for our girls. We need to follow Title IX. You guys all took the constitutional oath of office to follow the law. That is Title IX, to separate biological boys from girls in bathrooms and sports. I hope that you are on the right side of history protecting girls, because that is a very dangerous situation where we're setting them up for bullying, harassment, and even assault. And I know that that has happened where a trans individual went into a girl's bathroom in Virginia and a young girl was raped. And this started the whole movement of parents coming to school boards. So I want for you all to stand up for girls, so that you are not sued, so that you don't lose millions and millions of dollars in funding. Also, 5J, negotiating with the Oceanside Teachers Association for student learning outcomes. I would love it if that money would go towards student learning outcomes, reading, writing, math, and not towards administrative salaries. They are overbloated, and since Dr. Julie Vitale has been in leadership, our learning outcomes have actually tanked. So it'd be really wonderful if that money could go to student learning outcomes. Thank you.
Thank you, Rosie. Patty? Yes, I have Patty K. No worries.
Congratulations, good evening, school board. Congratulations, Julie, for rounding up the troops I got to hand it to you tonight. And I wasn't planning on speaking. Oh yes. I can excuse the young people here and the people who are not old Oceansiders because otherwise they don't know the history. But I can't excuse you because on the board you are adults. You should know the history. That we in Oceanside survived very well. Willie Buchanan, as an example, who you didn't go to the other night, he was awarded, he was a black man that went through Oceanside High School without $1 million Department of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. I think that these young people and the taxpayers would just assume that $1 million in salaries go into the classroom and equally. Yes. Okay. Also, Tiffany Ortega, I think it's also patriotic to raise grades, not just salaries of your teachers. And reassure your fearless leader, Randy Weingartner, that Trump is not abolishing education as she so intelligently interpreted that executive order. He's not abolishing the money. He's not abolishing education. Guess what? He's giving it back to the states. And in California, it's going to end up in the same position. Anyway, as far as number C, approval of conference attendance to Coast in April, it said the staff recommended that the board approve this. What staff, who? And the registration fee is $800 per person times 2 is $1,600. For transparency, would you kindly tell us what the difference from the $6,000 allotted when there's only $1,600 in registration fees? That's an agenda item and you're getting answer. Where is the remainder of the $6,000 going? Hotel rooms are a couple hundred. Yes?
We're not answering your question, you're making a public comment. So finish.
No, it's on the agenda. It is on the agenda for transparency for the people. Okay. And also coast to coast, there's nothing on this that talks about classroom or education. It's all the other stuff. The second one is the out-of-state conference community schools. 7 people are sent at $800 registration fee for a total of 5,600 fees. And yet there's $17,000 allotted.
All right, we're doing this up. All right, we have 4 more speakers. So I'm going to follow in the order. So we have Nate, and I don't want to say your last name right. Nate Alcom, sorry about that. Emily Witchman, Carrie Targetta, and Jira Romosanta.
My name is Nate Alcorn, and I am a pastor in town at a Christian church. I'm also the director of a nonprofit organization called Unite North County. And over the last 3 years, we've invested over $400,000 in partnership with your school district. I don't know if you're aware of that. We have partnered with Jordy and the team, also principals at 2 high schools, Oceanside High School, in building a student wellness center for students. And we're almost done completing the one at Camino High School. It's taken us a little bit longer, but we're just about there. And so we just love the work that you do in supporting all students. Every student matters, especially the ones that are overlooked. People from different backgrounds that are overlooked. In your department, come alongside, you see them, you value them, and you're helping all students thrive. One of the other hats I wear is I'm the co-founder and board president of a nonprofit organization called Alabaster Jar Project, and we do long-term housing and wraparound services for survivors of trafficking. We have a home in Escondido and a resource center there, and so I'm very aware of that population and how they are affected. And according to research, the Polaris Project, also supported by Fox News, that students who are LGBTQ are 3 to 7 times more likely to be trafficked. And so I think it is so vital that we know these students, we see these students, we support them, and our schools are a safe place for all students to thrive. Thank you.
There's 8 change orders for Pablo Talk. I hope the board are well aware and you think that they need to be done by August when school starts again. 5HH, general fund money for facilities. I think that should go to the classroom or teachers' raises and not for facilities. So maybe double check on that board. 6, presentations, DEI. It's not new to OUSD. Some of you old timers know, as Patty said. I said the values and programs have been here for decades, have been throughout OUSD, as many have voiced today. Now, I'll be sending a letter to you that you're breaking the Brown Act if you receive presentations with your agenda and the public is not. So we'll be seeing about that. 5C and D, Washington, D.C., $6,000 plus. Minnesota, $17,500 plus. This district seems to be doing well with belonging and social and emotional learning, but for some reason it's not connecting with academics. You are spending hundreds of thousands of dollars with academics and millions of dollars in the last 7 years for surveys, consultants, trips to East Coast, West Coast. Oceanside is not Chicago. Oceanside is not Minnesota. It's not D.C. We are Southern California. We are San Diego County. Do you want to know how to make a successful academics SEL school district? The California Department of Education highlighted 4 school districts who excelled in academics and SEL. One of them was Fallbrook Elementary. They used counselors, social workers, behavior technicians, instructional coaches, math teaching specialists, etc., and used their community school dollars, not for trips, but for in the classroom. They were also highlighted in the LA Times and the San Diego Union. Fallbrook was the only district in the San Diego County to post significant gains in both English and math scores from last year. Fallbrook's student population mirrors Oceanside in most areas. DC is 2,278 miles away. Minnesota, 1,959 miles. Chicago, 1,773 miles. Fallbrook is only 20 miles away. What makes common sense to have a tried-and-true program that you can learn from 20 miles away, or a culturally different, unproven programs thousands of miles away? I want money for the classrooms for traveling all over the U.S. I want money for teachers' raises. You've been struggling to get these results since Superintendent Vitale came 7 years ago. You are a school board that does not know how to prioritize your goals and evaluate the superintendent for the public office you were elected to. So I ask you to look into consideration that we've got it here. We've got a means to make our kids learn better and our teachers to thrive, giving them the tools, giving them the counselors, giving them the specialists that they need in the classroom. Not Minnesota, not Chicago, not DEI as a department of $1 million plus. So I want to do that. Thank you.
Thank you, Emily. Our next speaker is Carrie Rojetta.
Okay, so my name is Carrie Rojetta, and I'm a proud queer educator. And I just wanted to take a few minutes to actually thank OUSD, right, to thank the Lord, to thank you all for the work that you do. I know we don't do that very often, and I'm sure sometime in the future I'll be standing up here with some pretty fiery words for you, but it's not tonight. So as some people have mentioned before, different things, like when there's an autistic student in my class and he comes with that one-on-one aid so he can get the support he needs, right, that's DEI. When students can join clubs like Black Student Union and Polynesian Club and the GSA and the Fellowship of Christian Athletes, right, that's DEI, so they can feel welcome, so they can feel included and accepted, so that they can get to the academic part, right? That is DEI. When students in my classroom recently were using racial slurs and saying, oh, it's just a joke, right? The district was able to send somebody in to invite students into a conversation to create understanding so that we could get back to learning. That is DEI. And about 2 years ago, when someone here used their public comment to publicly out me, you called me, you asked me if I was okay, you asked me if you could do anything. That is DEI. Thank you, OUSD.
Good evening, school board members, Superintendent Vitale, cabinet members, colleagues, and community members. I am an elementary school counselor, daughter of immigrants, and a first-generation college graduate. I am also here as a witness to the transformative power of diversity, equity, and inclusion in our schools. For too long, many have operated under the illusion of a level playing field, but the the truth, we see it every single day, is that our students enter our classrooms with vastly different starting points. Some carry the weight of systemic barriers, others the burden of societal prejudice, and still others the invisible wounds of feeling unseen and unheard. DEI, we aren't buzzwords. It's the bedrock of a just and effective education. It's the understanding that recognizing and celebrating our differences is unifying. It is the commitment to dismantling the structures that perpetuate inequity and ensuring that every student, regardless of their race, ethnicity, religion, sexual orientation, gender identity, ability, or socioeconomic status, has the opportunity to thrive and be successful. I've witnessed the profound and impact the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Department has in action when students see themselves reflected in their curriculum, when they learn about the contributions of diverse communities, when they feel safe to express their authentic selves, they flourish. They become more engaged, more resilient, and more empathetic, and have an increase in feelings of belonging in school. DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, is about basic human dignity. It's about honoring the inherent worth of every single individual. It's about creating a school community where everyone feels where they belong and has a chance to build a future where every student has the opportunity to succeed regardless of their background. I'd like to thank you all for your commitment to students in the face of hate. I imagine it's not easy to listen to people month after month, year after year, who have hate in their hearts, threaten violence against you, and spread misinformation about the work that is being done in our schools to support all students. So again, let's not shy away from the difficult conversations. Let us not be afraid to challenge the status quo. Let us continue to embrace the power of diversity, equity, and inclusion to transform our schools and create a more equitable and inclusive future for all of our students. Let us continue to provide the tools, the training, and the support necessary to ensure diversity, equity, and inclusion is not just a policy, but a lived reality in every classroom. Thank you.
Agendized items. We're moving on to item 5. Thank you. Alrighty, I'll turn it over to Mrs. Gibbs. Go ahead. Public comment, just a quick reminder, some of you may have just walked in. This is public comment on non-agenda items. Individual speakers will be allowed 3 minutes total to address the board. You see the time up on there. Please adhere to our norms, and we'll go ahead and get started.
Okay, our first 3 speakers will be Kara Osborne, Carrie Fox, Sue LeClaire. Brother Kara is here. What about Sue? Okay.
Good evening. Well, it was sort of an agenda item, but I added some stuff. My name is Sue. I'm a staff member at the Oceanside Adult Transition Program, and I want to thank the district for continuing to acknowledge that our students come from various backgrounds and abilities, even though they no longer want us to call it diversity. I appreciate the district continues to commit to meeting our students' needs in a way that will help them succeed, even though we're no longer supposed to call it equity. I also appreciate the district wants all of our students to feel welcome and a part of the OUSD community, even though we're no longer supposed to call it inclusion. I find it utterly ridiculous that the government considers these goals so bad that they're threatening to withhold funds because of them. But please, continue reaching for these goals. There's so many battles ahead. I'm very concerned with the dismantling in the Department of Education. Our students have multiple federal grants that help them succeed in life and become more independent. I'm worried we're going to lose this funding. We're going to need everybody here to fight for our students and for the funding that they deserve. And there's so much more work to do in meeting all the goals that everyone talked about tonight, and we have not achieved them. But I want to encourage everyone on the board, everyone in this room, call your senator, call your congresspeople, talk to your government, let them know that our students, especially our students with disabilities, need funding, we need everybody to fight for them, and keep fighting. Our students are worth it. Thank you.
Anthony Seha, John Leo, and James Donnelly.
Thank you for allowing me some time just to express to you my thanks. My name is Anthony Seha. I was working at the County Office of Education for 26 years. I just retired in July, and I've worked with many of your colleagues that are now retired. But I wanted to say that I've had the privilege to go to many, we have 42 school districts in this county, but I've also partnered with Los Angeles County, Orange County, Kern County. And I have to tell you what I saw presented today by Dr. Sparks and the whole DEI department. I was like, that is really the most comprehensively well put together program that I've ever seen in all the schools that I've gone to. And so, because I remember, coming here and asking principals, hey, what do you need? What do you need? And I even remember when Todd was a principal, and and they needed staff, and they needed people to help those kids that were really struggling. And I've always admired that Oceanside. All the staff that I've dealt with, Oceanside has always had a heart to help those kids, to not leave them behind. And that's how, we started like gang prevention work back in the day, and then it became mentoring, and we had the Pass AmeriCorps came out of that, and we brought in some people with lived experience to intervene with kids that were kind of like getting involved in gangs. And then we brought in sort of practices, and Oceanside really embraced that, and we had a lot of trainings. And thank you, Dr. Sparks, for hosting a lot of those trainings, at the district. And I know that there's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of pushback on a lot of things. But I just want to say, in all the schools that I've seen, and I've seen many, you all have been so supportive and created something of such a high model that it just blows away most districts, okay? So just know that. And I just had the privilege of going to these places. So thank you for all you're doing. Thank you, Dr. Sparks, and everybody involved in DEI and all that you're doing to help our kids. I just really appreciate you, and that's all I wanted to say.
Good evening, my name is John Dill, and I represent Play Sports. We are a community school partner, and I'm here tonight to share how the Oceanside Unified Community Schools Framework has allowed us to make a meaningful difference in the lives of students. We're dedicated to enriching the school day through structured play and athletic skill development. I'm grateful for the opportunity to speak tonight about my experience working with the OUSD and their community schools. Our primary focus within OUSD has been to enhance their lunch recess and after-school offerings. We've worked to add structure and purpose to playtime, promoting positive behavior, increased student autonomy, and the development of athletic skills. We believe that every child deserves access to engaging and meaningful play, and we work hard to provide that through our programs. We aim to empower students to create and enforce their own rules, fostering confidence that translates to both the playground and the classrooms. We have conducted after-school programs, but our primary focus within the community schools has been our recess play programs. This focus has allowed us to see a real change in the schools that we partner with. We began our journey at Mission Elementary and Jefferson Middle School last year, and this year we've expanded to Libby Elementary and Public Talk School of Arts. This growth is a testament to the effectiveness of our programs and the support of the community schools team. One of the most rewarding aspects of our work is the connection that we have with students. One story that always sticks out in my mind is it was our second year coming back to Mission Elementary, and we were meeting with Chantel, and we had our instructors there. We were doing a quick little lunch, and all of them immediately saw our instructors, and they treated them like celebrities. They rushed to them, and they were yelling their names, greeted them with hugs and high fives. The work of the community school coordinators has been amazing. They have been there to help support my staff, providing all the tools to offer successful programs tailored to each school's specific needs. They have been tremendous in helping our programs grow within this school district. The time and effort that the community school coordinators put in is so obvious, and they care about their students and they know their students. This partnership with OUSD Community Schools has been invaluable to Play Sports and to the students of the Oceanside community. We've been able to create a positive and lasting impact on students, and we're excited to continue growing and serving this community. Thank you for your time and your commitment to the students of Oceanside Unified. Thank you.
James Donnelly.
Greetings, esteemed school board members, administrators, colleagues, parents, and caregivers, and community members. My name is James Donnelly, and I'm the coordinating teacher for Oceanside School District's Restorative Reset Program. I want to publicly share how much an honor it is to work under Dr. Sparks, Ms. Wiggum, and the incredible team of highly skilled and hardworking professionals they created. The work of these professionals help to provide access, resources, and opportunity to learn for all students. I'm particularly proud to be a part of OUSD's Restorative Reset Program. We provide time and space for students to process the impact of their choices and actions on themselves and others. We partner with parents and caregivers and our team to help students learn to make positive choices. Students learn to stay in class, navigate complex social interactions, avoid conflicts, and improve their academic success. Out of 303 students who attended our program so far this year, 83% did not return for a second time, 98% did not return for a third time. Out of the 359 student referrals last year, only 60 have attended our program this year. Here are some comments from our administrators and students. One administrator wrote, "Students generally return after restorative reset with an improved ability to reflect upon their decision making and express a desire to make different decisions in the future." Another wrote, "Both students and families who return from the restorative reset have expressed gratitude and growth after attending the program. Students who are sent to restorative reset continue to take responsibility for their actions and rarely make repeated offenses. Restorative reset's communication with families show in spades when families join during the reentry process and express how supported they felt during the process. Here are a few student replies when asked, what are one or two things that you will take away from this program? That I have potential, also that I need to be more respectful, that I should be myself and stop letting others influence me, to take a different stance on life, and to think of my family and respect them. I will think about positive outcomes, including consequences, before doing anything that I shouldn't do at school and anywhere else. Thank you, Oceanside School Board, administrators, colleagues, parents, and caregivers for the opportunity to serve our students in this wonderful community."
Next is Lorraine Donald, and then Emily.
Hi, everybody. My name is Lorraine Yasikochi. I'm the team parent here at Surfside High School, and also the child development teacher at Surfside High School. And I wanted to say no on the closure of the state preschool program. These are much needed preschool education for 3-year-olds and those families that would not be able to afford preschool. Also, the 8 preschool teachers will be off jobs. And I was told by HR that one of the state preschool serves more teen parents, and I want to educate more children so that they are able to be ready for kindergarten. So I ask and I plead if I could not be considered with the 8 people that are not going to have jobs, because I showed in August I would not have a job. I was offered another job for more education. And so hearing you vote, I knew nothing about any of those things that you were talking about. And I wanted to raise my hand and say, wait. That's why I came tonight. I almost didn't come. But I love the program. I love the parents, and I think I've done a lot for them. And like I said, I have a lot more to do. So please reconsider and not let a preschool teacher who does not have experience with teen parents take my job. Please not. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Don Riascochi, and my family's been in Oceanside for close to 100 years. My mother graduated from Oceanside High School, came back after the war, was treated well by the Oceanside Unified School District. Went down to Maricosta, and then raised a person like me. I run Oceanside Finest basketball program, which serves over 100 kids for free. That's what we do. But I want to tell you, I'm here to support my wife because I know how much she puts into the program. She's very rare because you're not going to get a better person who goes to school early, gets there an hour early, leaves there an hour late, and then shops, collects Christmas presents, and just goes up and beyond. I employ 30, 40 people. I would not have a better employee than her. So for somebody just to box her in as just a preschool teacher, one of 8, I feel is ridiculous. And I know that there's so many dedicated teachers like that out there, but I think she's unique. I think she's special, and that's why I'm here. Tomorrow's her birthday, and you know what? I came to speak on behalf of her because that's my birthday present to her. And that's all I have to say.
If you board members would have gone to the preschool or to the mom and teen program, you would have seen her. You would have seen what she does. Do you think a pre-K teacher wants to deal with babies and girls? No, Noreen does. Some of the programs there are all about Noreen. She's the one that established them. And if you have gone yearly or twice a year to that program, you would see. The first time I went there was maybe 30 years ago, and I thought, oh, here we go, Teen Mom and the babies, whatever. I was aghast to know how well it was done, how these women treated these babies, treated their mothers like they were their own, and the teachings and the training that they give to these moms and dads were phenomenal. So whatever you can do, and I would have been hoped that you would have given that recommendation to your superintendent before this all came forward. This could have been way late. This could have been done somehow else, and kept Noreen in her little group that deals with babies. How many teachers here want to deal with babies? No, they want to deal with children. Also, too, Tony or Anthony was saying about the programs that were here in Oceanside. Mike knows a lot of them that were here. And they were way before DEI. Way before DEI. Dr. Sparks did a great job in putting it all together, putting all the things, all the pieces together. The DEI bubble, it was great. You did a great job putting this all into perspective, giving numbers, which I was wanting that data for a long, long time. So some of that data I can hand, whatever. But it was a good job. But when you look at that and pick it apart, this district, as Mike knows, has had a lot of that. We've had the whole child since the 80s and 90s. That's when it all started. Not just 2000, not just DEI all of a sudden came and we're doing this for kids. And a lot of the teachers that have retired, they know they were there for the kids. They know who they were. They did all these things. The TC was here way before Sparks, and Vitaly was here, and they were doing that way before anybody else really acknowledged them for all that they've done. So again, grateful for his PowerPoint and for this bubble. But it's not, if it happens to burst, things are going to stay there. And as board members, you need to make sure that they stay there in the same attitude and same mentality. And the monies that you're going to get or not get will be used for our students in those situations. Last but not least is ethnic studies. Eleanor isn't here to say I was on the committee. Well, lo and behold, it's changed again. So you need to not have this as a graduation requirement for our kids. San Diego said no, it's going to be elective because it's still up in the air. Now they've got a new law that they want to put through. There's a lot of issues on there. There's a 31 legislatures from the Jewish caucus. They've got some things going. They've got a lot of things going up and down. So you need to just keep it as an elective for our kids, not as a graduation requirement, because it's not solid yet. There's no more monies coming from that, and there hasn't been any monies. Thank you.
Patty Kay, Christine Fuentes, and Rosie Garrett.
Thank you. Just a few things to catch up. And one thing that I've asked for before is that you allow the attendance, the people in attendance to come up and have a report like you do your union, your board, your superintendent, and your union that goes on and on and on. If you would put us on the agenda, we might be able to make more sense when we weren't time limited, where we just do sound bites. Number two is I told Mr. Sparks how wonderful it was to reduce the absenteeism, and I think that's definitely a good thing. I don't know why it hasn't been done before. Number three, I saw in one of the PowerPoints in one of the agenda items about the attendance, I believe, somewhere. I didn't see it tonight. Maybe I was looking different direction. I believe it was down to 14,000 something, and that is at peak. I believe there were 22,000 in the district. Is that possible? 24,000. Then it went down to 18,000. Since I've been here, it was 16,000, 15,000. Now down to 14,000. And I'll tell you why. It's going to drop more. More and more people. We keep saying more and more people are pulling their children out, homeschooling, or sending them to private schools, and there are reasons for that. The other thing that I really wanted to mention was, I don't know how diverse the district really is. If you have after-school programs that you actually pay someone to run at several different schools, and yet you're trying to charge $6,000 for a year for a Bible club to come in and occupy 1 hour a week. And the previous 2 years, there was no charge. And now there's a $6,000 charge that it questions the reason that all of a sudden you're doing that against a Christian club. And I'd like a response on that, please, from somebody. I know it won't be here, but I would like, you have my email, and I'd like to know why. Thank you.
Okay, Rose.
All right, so I heard a lot of people talk about DEI that came up, a lot of teachers. Tiffany Ortega, president of the Teachers Association. You say that DEI is progress. Progress to force girls to be vulnerable to bullying, harassment, and assault by confused boys who can't compete in men's sports and want to be peeping toms in very decent bathrooms. It's not progress, Tiffany, to use our hard-earned money to purchase porn and expose and teach perverted filth that wars against God, traditional marriage, purity, and innocence. We've been trying for the past 4 years to get the porn out of the school libraries and get the grades up. Two very basic things which you board under Vitelli's leadership cannot do. Questions all of your motives for being on the board and working with children. It's not progress, Tiffany, to sexualize kids with sexual perversion taught by LGBT director Max Dispositi and Planned Parenthood. It's not progress to teach innocent kids to hate their country and their skin color or neighbors. You're not victims, people. Stop using DEI and CRT and racism and the color of your skin. It should have nothing to do with learning. It's not progress to introduce delusional genders that don't exist and trans kids behind their parents' back. In the beginning, God created man and woman. It's not up for debate or politicalization. It's not loving to affirm a lie or allow a child whose brain isn't fully formed to allow them to believe they were born in the wrong body, or allow them to chop off perfectly healthy body parts. I hear all this about restorative justice. It's CRT at its finest, Jordy. Even one of your teachers came up and said he's going to use his white privilege to help other people. Why are we victims? We are not victims. God gave us power to be wherever we wanted to be through working hard and responsibility. No one is a victim here. No one. And we shouldn't be teaching kids to hate their skin color or to look at their neighbor differently because maybe they're in a different group or a different race or born in a different neighborhood. It doesn't matter. Kids are kids. We need to protect their innocence, and we need to teach them reading, writing, math, the Constitution, love of our country, love of our neighbor. We need to get back to the 10 Commandments, because we have strayed so far from that. We're teaching all of these ideologies that have no place in school. You guys have all taken a constitutional oath. Please uphold it and protect our kids.
Rosie. Thank you.
Thank you.
Noah, Vera, Patrick, Vieira, Maria, Ashana. And the last speaker will be Steve Denton.
The students deserve better. They deserve better than what they've been given with this board. You have a budget of tens of millions of dollars, spending over $10,000 per student, and yet half of our kids are economically disadvantaged. And 80% of that are minorities who need more than photo ops and feel-good programs. They need rigorous education. However, they are not going to get that from teachers and administrators that are stretched thin by Marxism. What they need is a board that fights for them, not a board that fights for its own interests and agendas. Equity is not a buzzword that you get to place on grants and programs. Equity is making sure that every student in Oceanside gets the resources, gets the opportunities to succeed, not just the students that fit your own narrative. If you have the time to meet with the parents that elected you for these positions, then you also have time to meet with the ones that disagree with you as well. Parents are not your enemies, they are your partners. And these students are not your data points or experiments, they are our legacy and our future. So at the end of the day, if you won't stand up for these students, the parents will. However, with that, the next thing that will be coming your way won't be a pay raise. It's going to be a huge loss of funding and a shattered reputation. So, board, I leave you with this. How do each and every single one of you want to be remembered? Thank you.
great that you're bringing kids back into the schools, but we're not fooled. The reason you do that is because you want the funding. So here's an idea. Bring them back into the schools and teach them reading, writing, arithmetic, and math. The U.S. Department of Education has set a Friday deadline for K through 12 schools to eliminate race-specific programming, DEI, or face potential federal funding cuts. In a February 14th letter, the U.S. Department of Education told all K through 12 school districts and higher education institutions to end the use of race or DEI in administrations, hiring, promotions, administrative support, that's max disposition, by the way, and all other aspects of student academics. And all other aspects. It laid out a new federal anti-discrimination enforcement policy threatening to pull federal dollars from schools that do not fall in line. Sounds like you guys aren't going to. Federal government funds, so your guys' budget is about $133 billion. The state, or the federal government funds between 10 and 20% of that. That's called $21 billion. So you're going to keep this man employed and take that money away from our kids. So that sounds, kosher for you, for this group here. Let me remind you of your report card, okay? District-wide, student academics, proficiency in reading, 41%, that's district-wide. District-wide, only 29% are proficient in math. The average graduation rate is 84%. That's 16% don't graduate, that's almost 1 in 5 kids. You closed down 4 schools in the district since coming on board, Vitaly. You won't listen to parents who still have porn in the libraries. And you continue to employ this man here and his crooning. Here's your grade, board, okay? You get a big F. You failed. All of you have failed. And your citizenship is U for unsatisfactory. That's an FU for all of you. The U.S. Department of Education launched enddei.ed.gov. Let me say that again. The U.S. Department has launched enddei.ed.gov, a public portal for parents, students, teachers, and broader community to submit reports of DEI in publicly funded K-12 schools. For years, parents have been begging schools to focus on teaching their kids practical skills, reading, writing, math, what it's intended to, the U.S. Constitution. Instead of pushing critical theory, rogue, sex education, diverse ideology, but their concerns have been brushed off, mocked, shut down entirely. Let me give you that website again, enddei.ed.gov, and put this man out of business.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Maria. Thank you for being here. It's nice to see you again, Mrs. Alvarez. I'm proudly part of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion in Oceanside Unified School District. A couple things in our department I want to shout out. Lots of great stuff has been said. I do want to shout out Noreen. I have seen her work firsthand. Our pregnant and parenting teams are part of our DEI program, and she is an absolute gem, no doubt about it. Happy birthday tomorrow. I also wanted to let you know that diversity, equity, and inclusion, it's not just the teachers and the counselors and the social workers. We are really a team, and our team has a culture of a beloved community. And that includes some of our team members who are in here still. Laura Vines is part of our team. Ruby Barbara is part of our team. Donna Omori and Adrian Vermillion. These folks are administrative assistants who are often on the front lines and not getting credit for what happens in our department. We get parents who call in, we get parents who walk in at times, and sometimes they're in the worst state. Sometimes it's the worst day that they've experienced, and it might be because they're unhoused, they're about to be unhoused, somebody has lost their job, somebody is sick, all sorts of reasons that make it so that their kid can't access their education. Because if you're hungry, if you're sleeping on the streets, getting into the class to do the reading, writing, and arithmetic that we really want our kids to be doing, it's just not possible. So these folks are on the very front lines, and I see them day in and day out talk to families calmly with love in their hearts, offering them water, offering them snacks that we have in the office, offering them just a calming space. And once they figure out what the need might be, if it's something that they're not immediately able to help with, then they pass it on to one of the other team members of us. So that is what we do in our department from every single person. I don't think anybody ever walks into our office and feels like, oh no, they're not going to help me here, because we're going to help absolutely everybody in whatever way we can. And that is the beloved community that we've created, that we try to spread out to every single school so kids can learn, because that's what we all want. Thank you so much.